All right, Brandon, we're going to look at the side view first, and this will just play the same shot over and over for us. So five-step approach is good. We're not going to change that. Okay? We're going to make little tweaks. One thing we're going to do is, with a push rate, I think you push a hair early. So we're going to hold that push more steady through step one. To help do that, if we look at the footwork, you kind of slide your first step. I'm going to turn that into a kind of a half step, but a heel toe step. The reason is when you slide that step, it makes it go slower. It gives you more time to push early. Okay. Now, when the ball gets in the swing a little bit quickly, the best way to catch up is really quick feet. Now, it's only when you bowl badly you get free advice from people you don't want to hear from anyway. And the most common thing you probably hear is slow your feet down. Okay. I don't think your fast feet are the issue. If the ball's in the swing early, you have to have fast feet to catch up to the swing. If we adjust how the ball comes down, that adjusts the footwork. Okay? Let's look at a different shot. The good thing is, this is a different shot. You do it the same every time. So you're repeating your motion well, but the motion you're repeating is causing some things you may not like. Another thing we're going to work on is a little bit more relaxed swing. I think you're kind of constricting the backswing. Now, I never want you to try to make it go higher, like lift it up, but I want you to relax and have the mentality it's just going to fall up wherever it goes, it goes. So you have to kind of give up that control. And the weird thing about giving up the control of your backswing is you're going to feel like you're out of control. That's kind of what I want you to feel, because I don't want you to control it. Controlling requires muscle. When you're more muscled in your motion, when you're on, it's great. When you're off, it's ugly. And there's not always a happy medium. Okay? And the more muscled your swing motion is, the more over-under ball reaction you create on the lane. Okay? So let's do a little comparison here. I'm going to show you somebody with really a great fluid motion. We're going to start with... who do I want to start with? In fact, let's use Marshall Kent. Where do I have Marshall here? We'll just look at when he was just up in Reno. Which one do we want to work on? Now he's doing a 4-step right there. Actually, I have him with a 5-step also. I'll show you that one. It's a really short little first step. Yours does not have to be that short, by the way. Okay. But you can see in a picture where the footwork looks a little bit more fluid. And part of the reason the footwork looks fluid, he's doing heel-toe steps. You kind of hit flat-footed. That makes it look more choppy. So we're going to work on fluid heel-toe steps as you walk. Makes a big difference in fluidity. If you look at his backswing, it's not like a crazy high swing, but he's letting the ball kind of swing up. Okay. In comparison to that, if we watch your swing, you can almost see in the picture how you're constricting your backswing. Obviously, that's not conscious. Your body's doing that. Okay. Look at the first couple steps. They look more choppy because they're not hitting heel-toe. Okay. Even if we slow down, watch step one. It's a slide. And right at the end of step one, you start pushing just a hair early. Not very early, though. But I think once you push quickly. Okay? So in fact, let's compare to Marshall. Now, on his, he goes back and forth in 4 to 5 all the time. Okay? No motion with that little step, and then the ball goes out with step 2. So the center of the ball comes just a hair down below the waist. So you have a hair bit of early motion, but not much. But now once you push quickly. Notice your step is smaller than him, and the reason is your step had to be smaller, the ball be even earlier. You know, so the best way to catch up to early swing is quick feet. Okay? But I think that ball's on the swing too early, especially for your height backswing. Now, guys with really big swings like Mike Fagan and Pete Weber and Tommy Jones, they have really big backswings. They have to have the ball down sooner so they have time for their big swings. You don't have a big swing. So for your height backswing, the ball's down too soon. Okay? So we're going to have you feel like you ease it out. I think you're a little bit quick. If we could get that ball to about here at the end of step 2, it would make a big difference. And I wouldn't be surprised when we work on that turns into a little bit more of a heel-toe step. You can kind of see how you're hitting kind of flat-footed. Okay? If we go to the next step with Marshall, another heel-toe, step 3. The ball gets right about butt high or hip high in the backswing. Look at your next step. Again, another flat-footed step. Now the ball's a very similar spot. You just got there differently. Okay? The difference is going to be he relaxes and let his ball continue to swing up. He's not lifting it, he's just not stopping it. So he has time for another step. When you constrict your swing, you don't have much time for the next step. Okay? And your body is smart enough to figure all of that out, because none of that's conscious. You're not thinking, oh my God, I don't have time, I have to have a really short fourth step. Your body does all that for you. But if we go back to his step 3, where the ball is, I'm going to circle that ball.
Liz, your order's ready. Liz.
On the next step, it goes up a couple of balls. I'm going to get you right to the end of your third step, which is right there. Here's the ball. Watch on step 4. It only goes up a half of a ball. And then it comes down a little bit. So really on that whole step, the ball didn't do much. And that's why your step didn't do much. I mean, look at how small that step is. It's like an inch. If that step were bigger, the ball would be coming down too soon. But what will happen is when we have you relax and let the ball kind of fall up, your body's going to say, oh good, we have time for a step now. Okay? Now, you don't have a low ball speed, you have a low backswing. And then you think, well, without much of a swing, how do you generate speed? You pull. Okay? What we want to see on the right is the foot will stop, ball come through, great position at the foul line. Let's go to you. It's going to be pretty close, I think. Push and stop right about there. Okay? You slid through that just a little bit, so you're ending up a little bit early. Now, when you end up early at the release point, common results of being early at the release point is, one, you get a little bit more grabby at the release. You know how that works. If you grab it, it overhooks, even though you hit your target. Especially on a sport condition, you get lots of over-under. Okay? So I think when we work on that freer swing, the ball will come off your hand more cleanly and more consistently. And then also, when you have muscle in the swing, that makes your ball kind of hook sooner and overhook. Okay? And that either forces you deeper than other bowlers or into weaker equipment than other bowlers too soon. Okay? But all of those things I just referenced, none of those are problems. Those are all results of what we're talking about. Okay? So, like I said, we're going to work on a smoother, easier push. You can do that at home with a mirror. Do not throw your ball in the house. That's on video, so I'm off the hook. You have a mirror to your right. You set up with your ball. Okay? No motion on step 1. It's just a little half step. The more you slide and it takes too long, you can have time to push early. So a little step on 1, no motion. On step 2, smooth out motion. It should come just below the belt. If you do that quickly, it comes down to your leg. And then you won't be able to stop because you get quick. So 2 steps and stop is a good little drill for you. Okay? Yeah, I think your ball position is pretty good. Yep. We might raise that up an inch or 2, but that's really pretty good. Okay? So we're going to work on the push away. First, we're going to work on everything in order as it happens. We're going to work on a little heel toe first step instead of a slide. We're going to work on a smoother, easier push away motion. To you, you bowl this way without thinking, and we can't reason with muscles they don't think, so you can fool them. So to you, it might feel like a slower push that goes up a little bit. It really won't go up, it'll be less down. Okay? And we'll kind of see what happens with step 2. A lot of times step 2 self-corrects, so it'll be bigger with a heel-toe step. But we definitely want heel-toe 1, 2, 3, and 4 for that matter. So we're going to work on that, and we'll see what happens. And then we're going to work on the feeling of letting the ball kind of fall up. How heavy a ball is that? 15? Okay. So you think about it, you got 15 pounds in motion going out and down. That creates swing momentum. Okay? If you relax, the ball has momentum to swing up. You're kind of constricting it. Okay? To be honest, I'm not worried about your finish at all. Your finish is actually quite good, especially considering there's a few things a little bit off before the finish. You have a great finish. Most people that have something off in their approach do not have a good finish. So you're way ahead of the game. Okay? All right, let's go to some back view stuff. And back view stuff should look very good with you. Your swing stays straight, you're walking straight. Very nice. I don't see anything crazy going on for the back view, which is good because I don't really like crazy. Okay? Even from the back, you can see how 3-4 have to get very quick because of what the ball's doing. Okay? But directional things look excellent. Very, very nice. Now let's go to hand motion and release. And I think this will look good right up to the very end. As the ball swings, you want the palm to be forward, the back of the hand back. Just like that, you're right at the back of the ball. Perfect. Okay? Right there. See how that turns a little bit? That's you helping and muscling your swing. Okay? I'm going to show you with one of the pros. So, in my opinion, when you're more muscled, that gets you more on the outside of the ball. So hopefully when we get more relaxed, that motion will go away. See how his hand doesn't change. So top of the swing, he's still right in the center of the ball. You're a little bit right of center. As he comes down to the release, he is still right in the center of the ball with the fingers. As you get your release, a little bit of early turn. Muscle promotes early turn. Now when you come off the side of the ball, you still get revs. But the revs you get are a little bit less effective, less powerful. So, one, it can give you more over-under, more direction change. And two, when you hit the pocket, you might leave more corner pins. Okay? So, imagine with him, his palm is still facing forward as his target. With the palm forward, the fingers are pointed down towards 6 o'clock. They're going to go from 6 o'clock through the ball to about 4. And the thumb comes out. So, it's just that little rotation. Palm forward, that little rotation with the fingers. Okay? So you rotate a little bit early with the thumb still in. So your fingers are already past where his are with your thumb still in. So now when your thumb comes out, the fingers don't do much because they were already there. So you have good rotation, it's happening a hair too soon. Okay? I'm not so convinced this is completely a release issue. Because when you got on the side of the ball, you were going up in the backswing, and I'm pretty sure you weren't trying to release it yet. Okay? So that might be a muscle thing causing that hand position. And then you were never able to recover from that hand position. So we're going to work on the timing and the footwork, and we'll see what happens with that hand. It may self-correct. Okay? If it doesn't, what I would have you feel is we can kind of fool your muscles. You always have to exaggerate to the opposite. You're used to turn your hand in a little bit. So I would have you feel like you turn your hand out. You really won't turn it out. It just won't be in. Okay? But even that's something you can do it with a mirror at home without even releasing the ball and not even taking a step. You stand in place, you watch yourself in the mirror, you create that little push away, and just make sure as the ball swings back and forth that your palm stays forward. So you start to see what you're feeling. When the hand turns in, that's very hard to feel. It's not hard to see. Okay? And even if we get your fingers to be about a half an inch further into the release point, you're going to have a more effective ball roll. Okay? But the release is one of the last things that happens, so everything else in your approach is a factor in the release. So we're going to work on those other things first. But again, very nice game. So when you come off the side, it's a little bit more spinny. When you stay behind it better, it more rolls. Okay? You can really see on yours because it's a swirly ball anyway. Okay. But you could even just kind of fool your muscle by thinking, just keep the palm at the target as you release. That can negate some of the early turn. You're still rotating as a muscle memory. So, and we're not trying to get rid of rotation, we're trying to delay it. Okay. All right, does everything make sense that I pointed out? Good. Let's stop the recording here so we can get up and work on this stuff.